Welcome to Take It Up with Jessica Lee. I have an exciting VP of Marketing here, a friend of mine, Christina del Villar. Christina, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Jessica.
She is the VP of Marketing and Enterprise at Udacity. And I'm so excited to hear more about the mission, about what you do, and how things are going.
Excellent.
So please, I know the mission is overall to democratize education. And as we know, there's a lot of innovative technology in industries, but the skills that you need for that workforce, you're making an impact on that front, right?
Yeah, we absolutely are. Yeah. So Udacity was founded around 7 years ago. And it was founded with the idea that education should be available at an economical, free, in some cases, a way so that people can really sort of improve their lives, improve their standard of living, and this is obviously across the world. And so we built Udacity with courses that are specific to helping people reskill and sort of redefine their lives in such a way that whether they're advancing their career within an organization or company, or whether it's for them, it's a career shift for them. They're moving to a different industry, they're moving to a different company, but really giving them the skills that they need, the practical skills that they need that will allow them to be successful in this new role as they advance in their career. So for Udacity, we definitely focus on sort of those in-demand skills right now, and we will always sort of evaluate what skills are needed, but we really focus on AI, machine learning, some interesting technologies that are coming out of autonomous vehicles and self-flying vehicles, as well as skills that are just really, really in demand, so web programming and web development skills as well.
I know that your role is on the enterprise side, so I know there's a consumer side, there's an enterprise side. Could you share with us a little bit more of what is the enterprise offering and why there's a need for it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we've been in the consumer business for a really long time and have had millions and millions of students go through what we call our nano degree programs. But for the enterprise side of things, what was happening was there's a need out there to have not just one or two AI engineers, for example, but tens or hundreds of them. And so it's really hard for organizations that have been around for a long time and are just sort of like trying to figure out how to be innovative or going through a digital transformation or workforce transformation. Like, how do you get those skills into your company? And the struggle was they're competing with some of the larger, sort of more like rock star type companies out there, and it's hard to compete for AI engineers. First off, there's not a lot of them out there anyway, and as technology and innovation grows, the need is going to grow more and more, and these folks just don't exist. And the folks that do exist are in such high demand that it's really hard to cover all of those roles that are open. So we focus a lot with Fortune 500 companies, and all of them are going through a digital transformation initiative right now, right? And we basically help them understand who within their organization would be successful in training in AI, machine learning, deep learning, whatever sort of their focus and projects are that are coming up. Help them evaluate their current staff, and then really have them go through the nano degree programs so that they can upskill and reskill their workforce, right? Because it's critical. Personally, I'd rather be able to train my own team and my own employees to kind of grow with a company as we're growing from an innovative standpoint, versus either trying to find new people or trying to supplement what we have. It's going to be a combination. You're going to hire some new people in, but again, the more that you can take your employees and reskill them, I think the more successful these initiatives are going to be.
And on the marketing front, let's talk about the marketing front. I know you love to do the awareness and the lead generation, right? The growth phase.
Right.
So can you share with us some of the successes you've had, some of the lessons learned?
Sure. So for example, at Udacity, they're going from a B2C corporation and style of their focus is on B2C right now, but we're trying to implement B2B into that as well. So it's a different message, it's a different way to reach the audience, it's a different audience, and so it's critical to kind of look at your branding and your messaging, make sure that works for who you're targeting. So again, we're not targeting an individual like say yourself who might want to become an AI engineer. versus talking to somebody like a CTO of a Fortune 500 or, a chief HR officer who's trying to figure out how they can get 400 engineers hired, right? So those are the folks we're talking to. So the message is very different. The types of lead gen are very different. It's very focused on content and helping them understand what other companies have done successfully so that they can see and understand what it is that they might need to do as well. So from that standpoint, it really is all about building up the content that we need, reaching them in the right, in the areas that they are focused in. So again, if you're an individual, you might be looking at like job boards, for example, to see like what's out there, what's available, versus again, a CTO or a CXO of a Fortune 500 company, they're looking at Forbes and Wall Street Journal and some of the other journals like that, trying to understand where they need to go to get the help that they need for this digital transformation. So those are the areas that we focus on the B2B side of marketing. Some of the, it just sort of, longer term, some of the successes, and I've done this at several companies where we've gone from B2C to B2B or focused on new channels, whether it's, potentially partners or other things. But I think the key thing is really understanding your audience. And I know we say this all the time. It's like you need to understand your audience. You need to present the right content to the right person at the right time. And I think that was much harder to do 20 years ago,
Yes.
even 10 years ago when
Yes.
we were working together, right? But nowadays with the tools that are out there and the marketing, it's just an amazing transformation in terms of what marketers can do.
That's right.
Right? I mean, they can really do one-to-one marketing, even for a consumer side of things, if you want to do that. But with technologies like chatbots like Drift, that really sort of help you figure out what that sort of workflow is as somebody's coming into your site, for example, or making sure that you have the right content available, again, to the right person when they're looking for it. All of these things can actually be automated now quite a bit, which is fantastic. You still need large amounts of content. You still need to know your audience and what they're looking for, but the dissemination of that information is now pretty automated with some of the systems and tools that are in place. So
That's true. That's the hyper-targeting, being able to find that person and knowing their intention when they're on multiple sites, and then being able to deliver the relevant content to them at that moment.
Yeah, they say, and it's so true, that by the time somebody's reached out to you, they've already done 70% of their buying process, right? So how can you help them, with that 70%, right? You can give them content, you can help them understand what they're looking for. You can help them understand like the potential ROIs that they might see if they do things this way or that way. So not only is it the right person, the right time is really significant because you're talking about where are they in that sales cycle?
Yes.
Are they just starting to look for information? Did somebody tell them, hey, you should go find a learning tool that allows us to reskill our team? Or are they ready to buy because they have an initiative or projects, right? So where are they, so that you can really make sure that you're giving them the right information? And again, there's tons of tools out there, marketing automation systems, and other tools that really help you understand that, or understand attribution along the way as well. Because I think the other area that's changed significantly for marketers is that for the most part, marketers now own revenue targets, right? So before it was like, here's your lead gen goal, which is great. But at the end of the day, what's the significance and impact you're having on the company? And that revenue target is really something that that I feel strongly about owning, but I also want to make sure that I have the tools and resources in place to make sure that I can not only hit that number, but be able to identify the impact and be able to actually measure it as well.
I think social media is fairly recent too. That we didn't have before. It's like I feel like social media is opportunities for branding, for influencing individuals.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's interesting. I was at dinner with Steve Lucas, CEO of Marketo, the other day, and he brought up it's a scenario that he ran into, and basically it was folks who were emailing this one particular audience, and they were emailing, and it turned out that audience, they actually got most of their news via social media, So here they are, like this is really important to them, but they're looking at social media trying to understand what the options and opportunities are. And here's this company emailing them, and I'm sure I've done this many times as well, right? But even that, like they're on their phone looking at social media, and you're sending them email that they're probably looking at on their desktop potentially. So there's just, it's not a, you're not even matching like how they're viewing the content, right? So again, there's a lot more going on with social media, whether it's, you know, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. There's so many different options out there. But again, understanding where people are really looking and getting their information is absolutely key to making sure that you're delivering it the way that they're going to see it.
So on B2B enterprise marketing, it's going to be different compared to B2C.
Yep.
And I know there's like, I feel like for B2B, LinkedIn is really the number one. Right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the...
Yeah, so I feel, I think that Twitter this year in particular has become a little more focused on more business types. More people are starting to get some news from Twitter. But Facebook, again, sort of from a B2B standpoint, isn't necessarily the best channel, if you will. But I do think that LinkedIn is really important as well. So for example, on the B2C side, they're going to target Twitter and Facebook from a Udacity standpoint. From a B2B side, we're going to focus on LinkedIn, right? Because that is where the majority of our folks are going. And retargeting is huge for us because we want to know not only when, you know, you, Jessica, are coming in, but other people from your organization and your company are coming in, so we can start to retarget them and kind of have a formulated plan for your organization as a whole, not just as an individual as well. Okay. So yeah, and we'll do a little bit with Twitter as well, but LinkedIn's really a bigger channel for us right now.
Okay. If we could look at the whole trend, the whole industry, Udacity is a new business model in a way with the democratizing education and providing access.
Yep.
And it's not just in the U.S. You mentioned there are different geographic areas where you're making a huge difference in the world. Sure. Can you share a little bit about that? So
we focus on in-demand skills, and those in-demand skills are the same skills that are needed on a global level for a global economy. So Udacity has offices in China, Latin America, we have one in Middle East, as well as India, and then in Europe as well. And so again, the skills that, we think we're in Silicon Valley, so it's super easy to say, oh, we need AI engineers here, but they need AI engineers and machine learning engineers everywhere, right? And so to be able to offer courses online that have that significant skill and upskilling capability, and again, just anywhere globally, is pretty remarkable. Bandwidth is much better than it used to be, so people have that opportunity. And we do work with, local companies and even in some cases local governments to help make sure that people have access to those courses. In some cases, again, it's a corporation paying for their employees to have it. In some cases, we have a scholarship program where, folks can basically set aside a scholarship where other people can come in and take those courses leveraging the scholarship program as well. So, okay, yeah.
So for those who are interested in learning more about Udacity or actually becoming a sponsor or actually starting a program with you, like let's say a big company wants to get this, what's the first step? What should they do?
Yeah, so they can go to udacity.com/enterprise, which is where the B2B enterprise information is. For folks who are just trying to understand like how skills could help them again with their own career advancement, udacity.com is the place to go. You can see all the different again the nano degree programs that we offer there, and see what might apply to them. So, or what would help them really significantly improve, help them do their job better, basically, which is super exciting.
And the last question I will ask is, what have you found to be a really exciting marketing practice or a marketing tool? There's something that's fairly recent that you recently learned and practiced, and you think, wow, this is really cool.
No, that's an awesome question, and it kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier. I think that it's really critical for everyone to, you need to engage and build a relationship with, especially from a B2B enterprise standpoint, build that relationship with the person that you're talking to or that organization, the different people within those organizations. And one of my favorite tools is actually called Drift. It's a chatbot basically. And what it allows you to do is when somebody comes to your website, it's a non-invasive, super simple questions like, are you an individual looking for a course, or, do you work for a larger organization that might implement across, multiple channels and departments. And then it'll continue to ask questions. And again, it makes you feel like it's interactive, it's non-invasive, but at the end of the day, it's getting to that point that I was talking about earlier, where it's giving you the information that you're seeking at that point in time. So instead of going onto the website and trying to figure out, how I built my sitemap and how to navigate through, it's helping you, basically, to build out those workflows in advance.
To help you find the
to
content.
help you find the content that you're looking for, right? So, and again, it can even ask you questions like, where are you in your buying process? Just starting out, or, are you ready to have an RFP, or like, where are you? So that you can then, again, give them, that right content that they're looking for at the right time. So again, tools like that are fantastic. Really, I think that marketing automation systems, like Marketo and Pardot, are much more sophisticated than when we were working on them 10 plus years ago, and really help you understand the attribution of all the different programs that you have. So again, for a long tail sales cycle like a B2B or enterprise, it can be anywhere from 6 to 9 months. And it's not just like you come in and get a document and you're so excited that you're going to buy, $5 million worth of whatever, right?
Yes.
You're going to come back and you're going to want more information and you're going to want to learn more. And so it's really important to understand, again, those touch points that people had, the attributions that, should be, should flow with that program itself. So you really understand the significance of a program. So you might do a webinar, and that webinar in and of itself isn't going to bring in X amount of leads and close X amount of revenue. It's part of that nurture funnel that you have. And so to be able to see the significance of the individual programs as people are going through that purchasing life cycle, it's really important. So a lot of really great tools out there that help guide your potential prospect along, as well as help you understand and measure how they're doing along the way.
What's your greatest lead gen practice? Is it advertising? Is it organic?
Yeah,
is it referral?
A referral, I think referral is always going to be your biggest, because those are your advocates. Those are people, whether they're customers, they're partners, or your employees. They're the ones who are saying, oh my gosh, you should go check this out. And they usually do. And so that automatically is sort of truncating that sales cycle as it is. And it could even be, to the extent that you think about it, like say we're focused on telco customers and we have a telco case study, that's going to be significant for other telcos that we're talking to, because they want to understand, not just from a competitive advantage, but like what opportunities are out there for them, what can they implement. So that's kind of another form of referral, if you will, like trying to understand what other people are doing and what tools and companies they're working with. So
great.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming in, Christina, and it's been wonderful to talk with you.
Absolutely.
I'd love to hear about the practice of lead generation and some of the new tools that you're experiencing. I also love the mission of Udacity in marketizing education. So there you have it. Take it up with Jessica Lee, Christina Del Villar, VP of Marketing from Udacity. Thank you.
Thank you.